The member from Oshawa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Manufacturing is part of the foundation of our community in Oshawa. Consecutive Liberal governments, however, have stayed seated on the sidelines while auto jobs have disappeared, and our community has lost hundreds of millions of dollars in auto investment. Now, the Premier has endorsed the TPP sight unseen, a secret deal that is expected to put approximately 20,000 jobs in the auto industry at risk. In fact, this past weekend, the CEO of Ford Canada said, and I quote, "We see the Trans-Pacific Partnership as a setback." Premier, what do you have to say to the thousands of people in Oshawa and across the province whose jobs are at risk because you have decided to support a deal that you haven't even seen yet?
Minister of Economic Development, Employment and Infrastructure.
Minister of Economic Employment and Infrastructure.
One of the things correct in the members' comments are we haven't seen the deal yet, and I think it is important for us to see the deal. But we've seen a lot of speculation about it, and the previous federal government did provide some details, which the member's right is concerning to us in terms of the impact on our auto sector. Now, we're not suggesting that the federal government be totally irresponsible and walk away from this incredibly huge trading bloc. That wouldn't be good for any Canadians or any Ontarians or any sector. But we do believe that the previous government did not do a good job when it came to negotiating on behalf of our auto sector. We were very clear about that. In fact, we've written to the federal minister. We were very clear in our comments between the Premier and the Prime Minister that they had to stand up for that sector and our agri-food sector as well.
Answer.
We don't think they did a good job in negotiating the aspects with regard to auto, but at the same time, we've got to be responsible in our overall comments on the TPP, because we have to think of the overall good of our economy.
Supplementary.
Okay. Thank you, Speaker. The actions of the Liberal government, or lack thereof, come with a real cost to families in my riding, making it that much harder for them to keep up or get ahead without good, stable jobs. The TPP has significant consequences for the province. From what we do know, Canada got the wrong end of this lopsided deal. Even Stephen Harper admitted that the auto sector may not benefit from the TPP trade agreement. Now we're hearing from industry giants like Dianne Craig that not only will this deal jeopardize auto sector jobs in Ontario, but it will also negatively impact manufacturing sales. This is yet another example of the Premier's short-sighted vision for Ontario and for Ontarians. Premier, will you reconsider your position on the TPP and ensure that good automotive jobs are protected in the province?
Thank you. Minister.
Seriously, Mr. Speaker, the members got to pay better attention to these issues as they're developing. We are on record publicly, Mr. Speaker. We've written to the minister to ensure that it's on the record, the federal minister, previous one, that we're standing up for the auto industry in this province. And we've stood up repeatedly on this particular issue, and we will continue to. But, Mr. Speaker, what that sector is really concerned about as well is having a third party in this province that wants to jack up their corporate tax rates. Mr. Speaker, that's not going to help investment in auto in this province. That's going to kill jobs in Oshawa. That's going to kill jobs across this province. What they also want, Mr. Speaker, is to ensure they can get their auto parts to and from their plants. They can't do that if we don't have the courage to make the investments that we need to make in infrastructure. You can't have it both ways. If you're standing up for the auto sector, you got to stand up and keeping them competitive from a tax perspective and competitive in terms of infrastructure as well.
Thank you. New question, the member from Northumberland.